Vielen Dank, Herr Präsident Sassoli.
Thank you, President Sassoli, Minister Loga, ladies and gentlemen, members. Well, for the last time this year, we'll be meeting in plenary today, and I'm speaking to you with a mixture of concern and confidence. Now, firstly, obviously, the reason for that is the pandemic. And I think, like many of you, I'm sad that once again this Christmas will be overshadowed by the pandemic. But on the other hand, I have confidence because we have the strength and the means to overcome the pandemic in the long term. We've worked extremely hard to ensure that these means are available and, above all, to build new structures in order to conquer the pandemic. Now we face a double challenge. Firstly, we're seeing that COVID-19 cases have massively increased in Europe. There are some member states who have the highest new infection rates that they've ever had. And we're seeing an increasing number of people falling ill, a greater burden on hospitals, and unfortunately an increase in the numbers of deaths. It's very important to be aware that this large increase in the number of infections is due almost exclusively to the Delta variant. And what I'm concerned about is that we're now seeing the new variant, Omicron, on the horizon, which is apparently even more infectious. If you look at the time it takes for new cases to double in number, it seems to be doubling every 2 or 3 days, and that's massive. We're told that by mid-January we should expect Omicron to be the new dominant variant in Europe. But over the last year we've worked hard and we've achieved a great deal. And that is why Europe is in a better position now to fight the virus. And there are various reasons for that. Firstly, we have enough vaccine doses for every European now. 1 billion doses have so far been injected, and 66.6% of the European population has now received 2 doses of the vaccine, so they're fully vaccinated. That's over 300 million people. And 62 million people have received the booster jab. And science tells us that initial data from Omicron shows us that this triple jab is the best protection against the new variant. Now, obviously, there's a lot of research that still needs to be done on Omicron, but our health services have now set up a wide network of scientists and labs which give us new knowledge on the new variant and the danger thereof on a daily basis. Secondly, our situation is better because we're now in a position to produce 300 million doses of the vaccine per month here in Europe. We have contracts that ensure that we'll receive vaccines once they're adapted to the new variant as soon as possible. And we're told that it'll take around 100 days to adapt the vaccines we have. We're also working with the European Medicines Agency, the EMA, to ensure that the approvals procedure runs in parallel to the adjustment of the vaccines so that we can have the vaccines available as soon as possible. So we have vaccines, we've done our planning, and this puts us in a good position. The most important thing now is to increase the numbers of people who are vaccinated in Europe as quickly as possible among all age groups, including children. We need to reach people, we need to provide appointments for vaccines, and we particularly need to help those member states that are behind on vaccination. In some member states, the Commission has now begun to run targeted campaigns on social media to ensure that people in these member states have the information that they need on the effectiveness of vaccines. So we're going to do everything possible to ensure that vaccine skepticism is overcome. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the price that we'll pay if people aren't vaccinated continues to increase. People pay, our economies, our businesses, our societies. It's also a problem for our elderly citizens who once again this Christmas can't see their grandchildren. And it's also a problem for those children who once again can't go to school. What kind of a life is that? We all owe it to these people to get vaccinated and to ensure that we fight the pandemic with all our strength. In addition, Europe has delivered vaccine doses to the rest of the world in an unprecedented manner. If we look across the world, 44% of the global population are fully vaccinated. Europe has a large share of those people. We have delivered 1.4 billion doses of the vaccine to 150 different countries. And in addition, we are the largest donor of vaccines in the world. We have donated 377 million doses to countries outside Europe. 50 million were bilaterally donated to Western Balkans and Eastern Partnership countries. So that's one thing. But millions, billions of people in the world still haven't received their first dose. The continent that is furthest behind is Africa. Only around 7% of the African population is vaccinated. So we're working hard on a package for Africa, also with a view to the EU-Africa Union Summit. We want to provide them with vaccines, yes, but we also want to work on their infrastructure as well. Medical education, more vaccines, yes, more infrastructure so that people can get vaccinated, medical equipment, all of that needs to be worked hard on. In addition, as Team Europe, we're working with our partners in Senegal, Rwanda and South Africa, and together with the private sector as well, to extend production capacities of mRNA vaccines. Ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic is unprecedented, but so is our response.
Besides the pandemic, we will also discuss at the European Council other important issues, from energy prices and the overall economic situation, indeed to the Belarusian regime's hybrid attack against our member states, Lithuania, Poland and Latvia. The autocratic regime's attempt to destabilize our member states has completely failed because our union reacted robustly and with great solidarity and unity. We mobilized humanitarian assistance. We introduced a tailored, sharp set of sanctions. We supported voluntary returns. And as a result, within just a month now, more than 3,500 migrants have been returned safely from Belarus to Iraq. However, ladies and gentlemen, honourable members, the situation at our border with Belarus should be seen in a wider context, mainly the deliberate attempt to destabilize the security of our democracies and those of our neighbours. And I want to focus on that now. We all have seen the reports of Russia's massive build-up of military along Ukraine's eastern border and also the attempt to destabilize Ukraine from within. I want to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as well as the right of any sovereign state to determine its own future. We also see the blatant attempt to intimidate Moldova's reformist government by squeezing them on gas supplies at a time of high energy prices. And honourable members, we must protect our societies and our democracies from this kind of cynical geopolitical play. Of course, we want good relations with Russia, but whether this is possible depends first and foremost on Russia's behaviour. And at this point in time, Russia is choosing an aggressive posture vis-à-vis its neighbours. And as the European Union and its G7 partners have made very clear, further aggressive acts against Ukraine will have massive costs for Russia. In June, the European Council has tasked us to come up with options. And since then, we have been working on this in close cooperation with the United States and other partners. We are prepared. There's a whole set of economic sanctions in place, targeting the financial and energy sector, dual-use goods and defence. Our response to any further aggression may take the form of a robust scaling up and expansion of these existing sanctions. And of course, we are ready to take additional, unprecedented measures with serious consequences for Russia. But above all, I call on Russia to de-escalate, to pursue diplomatic channels, and to abide by its international commitments. Conflicts must be solved peacefully. Mesdames et Messieurs les députés.
Members, our joint response to external threats, our European vaccination campaign, these things show on a daily basis that our union and our democracy keeps its promises. Today, I would particularly like to thank the Slovenian presidency. They have done so much to move our work forward in terms of coordination on COVID-19, files that are important for our digital and sustainable transition. The French presidency is coming up now. It's looking very ambitious in terms of the fight against climate change and the digital revolution, and also the fight against global inequalities and boosting our democracies. I look forward to working with the French presidency and count on the French to continue to move forward with the important tasks we're doing. Members, we have been through a turbulent year. Thank you for all your support. Thank you. I know that, like me, you're looking forward to spending a bit of time with your families and your friends. So, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Grazie, Presidente.
Thank you, President.